Good morning. Good morning. Checking news. Thursday, November 5th. Okay, now it's the storm. I was saying calm before the storm. This has got to be the storm. Definitely started raining. Thursday, November 5th. So it's normally my least favorite day of the month. Day before non-farm, which is the worst day of the month, but I don't trade it. So this would be the, sometimes it's fine. I think last month it was good. Well, I don't remember. But besides everything else going on, does that even matter? Is that we also have a interest rate decision for the pound. Actually, that just happened now, 7 minutes ago. So that's very, very big news for the pound. Very big. On the day before non-farm Friday, U.S. unemployment, which is the biggest of the month, basically, in the middle of this whole shit show going on right now on planet Earth. So let's do some trading. All right. So we had the pound. it's a good introduction there. So we had the big pound news 7 minutes ago. Interest rate decision. We'll look at that. Then we have, and that's done. Well, there's a speech, but it's done. So we'll see how it chills out. What happened? The U.S. session. Euro's got a tentative medium impact economic forecast. No time given for that. Some light Euro stuff in 2 hours, 3 hours. So we got past the big one, which was the pound, and then are we doing U.S. interest rates today too? Oh my God. I'm going back to bed. Really? Same day. Okay, so besides everything going on, besides today being the day before tomorrow, which is just not a good day, 2 interest rate decisions in one day. Yes. So let's make it even better. Worse, actually. Yeah, it's 3 in the afternoon, New York time. So it's not like we can just get this over with and get on with it. It's looming all day. The big, huge, fat, insane late day move that's going to happen on the U.S. dollar today. That is looming now. It's 12 hours away. Crazy volatility on the U.S. dollar. 12 hours away. Everybody knows it's going to come at that time. So there's that. What the hell am I doing here? Did I sell you on such a great day today is to trade? Even opening my platform is too risky today, yes. Which is I don't even do until I see a potential setup minutes away. I'm like, okay, that's risky today, yes. Don't open your platform. You know what? Don't look at the charts. We can't look at the charts. It's too risky. I better close my MT4 before I start losing money. Amar made 25 pips on AU yesterday. Very good, but I may have sold it too early. Just kept going up. Chad, yeah. Yeah. Well, you're leaving for work. That's guaranteed profit. So I think it's a good decision. There you go. Compared to today, what you might get. So I don't know. This is the craziest set of circumstances. All this stuff today. Wow. To the charts, I guess. Hell. So whatever the smallest risk you could possibly take in your account. That might be the way to go if you really love a setup. We'll see what's going on, but it's just complete Wild West out here. Complete madness. Complete madness. Anything can happen at any time. And then the big thing later today, and the big news tomorrow, and everything else going on. And the state could be called for Trump or Biden or what the heck, whatever. Insane circumstances today, just a whole bunch of them. So, here's what it is. At least things are moving. And maybe next week, we'll have some normal situations. People get used to things quickly. I don't know. We'll see. But it is moving a lot. That's good. Where are we now? So there's the pound effect of the interest rate decision there on the pound. All right. Compared to what's been going on, it's not even that crazy, but it's a lot still. That pound yen, how much did that move? 70 pips, 80 pips. In 80 pips in 30 minutes. Okay, we're done with that. So the bounce, first of all, yesterday, how many did that? Off the low. A lot of them. Amari got AU. Some of that. But that didn't reach that. But that's what we were talking about yesterday for some of these where that got to that point and took off. There was, the real deal sell-off, but then we did hit some huge buying off the low, and we were actually looking for long entries. EJ kind of got stuck. I didn't take anything. Again, I had to do stuff early in the morning, and then for a while, and I'm so tired from the last 2 days too. Very tired. I was going to cancel today. I probably should have. Too late now. But the cryptos are up. Bitcoin is at 14.5. Wow. We kind of knew it though, right? We knew it. What was all that business, and we were hanging out around 10.5 for so long? All that accumulation. We knew it was coming, right? And the others had their dip that I bought some on maybe 4 or 5 coins that I bought on that last dip like 2 days ago, whatever. And those are doing okay. Those are up too. But yeah, at least that's what's happening this week with this craziness going on as far as good, easy profit. If you're doing that, it should be looking good there, especially obviously Bitcoin. And the other one's buy opportunities. But as I say, I always have a little more in Bitcoin than the rest because when, there's big moves, that moves. And so it's decent. Okay, so that up move happened all around here. Yeah, the yen pair is not so much, right? The AJ moved a lot because of the strong Australian dollar. But really the yen pairs, we don't see such an up move. It was really the US dollar weakness was the story, and that's a pound thing now. This actually moved down. I don't think we were talking about buying this, or were we? Nah, it didn't look so good. So let's see where we are now. More coffee. Very tired. Really would be nice to grab something though while we're in the session. See what we can get. Yesterday I was, really kind of aggressively looking for something. Yeah, we had the big freeze. Everything stopped, right? Now we look back and see what's going on. Those numbers just stopped coming in. All right, let's not even get into that right now. Smell some bullshit. All right. So let's see how this move up played out. We can't be surprised that it happened. We were talking about all that buying off the low. And basically, right, just remember the situation where we saw lots of demand here, but some supply here and there, and sellers are hanging around. Okay. And they really got to get out of the way. And eventually they did here, where your volume dropped off generally here on the up move and didn't run into any supply until this area. So not the greatest situation to try to get in. Typically, the supply goes away a bit lower, and you get in closer to the strength, of course. So yeah, it was that kind of thing. But finally, we did hit that weakness up into these areas to some extent. And some pretty aggressive positioning long again on the way down. Was that a fib retracement there? Some good buying in here. You can see it came in. 14 EMA test. What went on there? News? No. Yeah, it looks like it's still leaning bullish. But let's see what's going on. Also with supply, it's still hanging around. We want to get a bit lower if we're up here. And the buyers are showing up, wherever you would expect them. There's a nice fake break, and that's the highest volume of that off-hour stuff. Yeah, off it goes. We're talking about total insanity today. Yeah, I'm looking at it like it's a regular chart, but really anything can happen anytime. But there's a probability at least of a short-term move. I would look for that. So here's Euro open. There's a nice spike there. Not much really happened here. Some aggressive markup style buying. Bit of selling into it, but then we get the London open spike right there. And the pound news happened. But I'd be leaning bullish, but let's mark up our levels. Yeah, we got that to worry about. It's still a pretty aggressive move with pretty aggressive markup stuff going on. Too bad we're this high at this point. But if we top off without much weakness, especially into this area, we know that we're likely going to get to that top and try to break out. Whatever happens up there is another story. But if we can come down off of this, even for a smaller sort of retracement, and be able to buy and not see that weakness coming in here and some strength, and we may be able to catch another leg up, right? But at least we're at this area. We can see what's going on. Maybe we'll get very high volume weakness here. Be able to short it, especially if it's a fake break, right? That's very possible here too. So if there's lots of selling, we can look to short. If there is little selling, then it's likely going to break and see how we can find our way in, or likely at least going to try to break and get to this price area. So I'm just going to be logical here. See if the market behaves. We know what it's testing for where, and some clear signals should come in at these areas, or maybe it'll be weird. So we'll see. Seems like traders like the volatility here. They like it. F it. Let's go. So got past the pound interest rate decision. Of course, there's late day. Again, that's in just under 12 hours, the U.S. interest rate decision. So if I get anything, really, you don't want any risk on at that point. But anyway, this, we ended up with a fake break, a pretty decent move up. Probably going to be leaning more bullish. Let's see. And then we'll see what the interest rate decision looks like. But yeah, it's pretty similar. You see the demand off the lows, you see the supply off the highs, but this seems to be more on the demand side and the accumulation side. especially if we get a situation where we don't have supply at some key area, then we'd certainly be bullish. We'll see how this reacts. What's it doing off the high? Yeah, let's give it some time. Pretty aggressive markup there. There's the candle that hit the zone. There's some selling on it. And then we just want to keep going as a result. So those sellers got sucked in, and we see more aggressive markup. So again, lower volume up here. It means we're likely to break. We see we can find our way in. Very high volume here, very high. Then I'd look to sell. Okay. Pound, we'll get back to. This is the same. Looks like the euro dollar. Let's just redo this. At least it's a pretty simple, straightforward situation, right? There's no brain pain right now, which is surprising. I feel like traders like this right now. Bitcoin, they're liking it. I'm not afraid. You will be, yes. London open spike. They were just dropping on volume so far into new high ground, well into new high ground, making good progress. It's aggressive markup style. Again, this could end either way, right? Big bang weakness, high enough volume to short, or just kind of fall over on some regular volume and we know we can look to buy. So yeah. That's the story here so far, besides the pound, because that's in a different situation. Same. We know especially the Australian dollar has been happy, strong, very bullish. So again, we can see that low supply reaction in this area and look to buy into it. Just want to mark the previous high because that's new high ground over that and is hitting that. So certainly telling us about supply right there. Not much at all. Not much at all. That's a big piece of information right there. New high ground over yesterday's high. Okay. There was initially this, but looks like the sellers really, that's about it. Easy markup right there. And now we're testing for sellers here, right? We just hit this zone. Not much going on. So that's the first piece of information here. It is likely to get to this high, try to break it. And I say try because how often we get fake breakouts. So especially if the volume's low into this area, it really reveals that. I would look to take a potentially even a 14 EMA scalp entry to the high. Maybe a low volume move off of this and get so lemonade trade. Well, it's a correct scalp. It's nice to see lack of supply in an important area if you're doing that. Not so bad. I didn't draw a fib because those are at the high. This, yeah. The yen pairs, again, didn't move up so much because the yen wasn't so weak like the dollar was. But you say AJ moved up, yes, because the Australian dollar is strong. So besides that, less bullish stuff going on over here. As far as this, now we may be breaking out on low volume, and that says we're likely getting to the high. Okay. I'm glad we're getting out of this. New high ground over yesterday's session high. That's going to show us sellers. Okay, so we're all doing this at the same time. That's good too. And we're probably getting the same answer, right? No spikes. No surprise. All right. This is definitely, the kind of situation where you want to look for that 14 EMA kind of thing. If we can get that at least, is that too much to ask for? I mean, all strong trends hit the 14 EMA a couple of times. 90% of them. 80%. But yeah, that's looking like that's the situation everywhere. The pound, it'll probably just start aligning with other things, but it just had that big news, so let's just give it a sec. Amara, sounds like an Amara trade. Itchy trigger finger in for the excitement kind of trade. Buy at the high with low volume, why not? Yeah. The thing is, I used to, a long time ago, like look at these areas as, oh, okay, they're very dangerous, and we know why. A lot of times you'll see weakness right into here and just come down. You won't even get there. So you got to like fear these things, but then realize the logic of, okay, but once you've seen it, then it's fine. So it's actually good. Oh, okay. So if sellers didn't show up here, they're likely not going to show up until you get here to this price area now. So if you get a retracement and you're looking to buy into this zone, you only have to worry about it until there, which makes for a good scalp. And maybe it continues, maybe it doesn't. This is a bit of volume here, so, but this already, that's it. It's already been revealed. Selling, what's selling? We're not selling. So any little retracement here is not a profit taking. Think of also the long positions that did not just take profit; it just held on to it. If anything, we just saw some regular markup stuff going on. So they're holding on to those long positions and not getting out. Even if we get a pullback on a bit of volume, that's, they get out into higher prices. So very bullish, yet very high. So let's see. If the supply stays low enough, we can buy up here. If we get a spike of supply, look for a further retracement. If it's huge supply, then we could short. All right, pretty simple. This should be a video in itself in my course. Right? How to deal with an uptrend that's close to a resistance or a downtrend close to support. What do you do? That does come up a lot. And you don't always have to wait for the break or rejection and some larger move to confirm what's going to happen there. But yeah, then again, the scalps exist for that, I guess. It would be a good old regular textbook scalp. All right, good. That's a high you can not have to fear. And let's see, we can get, and we got some activity picking up now, but you can see these high prices. That's not what that was about. But who knows? Maybe some big sell-off starts now, and it just drops and drops, and we have to say, "Oh well, that's today," because it's freaking crazy to even be doing this right now. So yeah, I'm just saying. So we know what we're looking for, right? Okay, good. Besides the pound, we're coming down. We're going to test the 14 EMA off of a pretty nice looking low volume top. Now it's not really low, but on the 5 minute. But if you look at that 1 minute, really no increase. You have some low stuff here. Which one's the best? Probably AU, maybe. This is good too. Look at that top candle. Now that's a no supply if you're going to name it something. It's not a no demand. There's no demand in the way that at least they don't want to continue to mark it up. But we're talking about selling into up moves, buying into down moves. Yeah. Don't confuse yourself. All right. That's a good one. What's the best looking top? Maybe AJ. Euro's got a little something up there. AJ. Relatively less, I suppose. Okay. Dollar index kind of stabilized, maybe not. Yeah, I could see there being weaker yen just as much as there could be weak dollar here. I don't think there's much of a different moment from what we can gather as far as which would be better to trade against, which would be weaker to buy against, US dollar or yen. Right now, they seem similar, right? So 14 EMA tests. Let's get to it. There's one. Euro I don't really like as much, but we'll see what goes on. As I say, if there's a uniform response here of maybe some buying off the 14 EMA, generally that would be good. A little lower. We can get a clear answer, 14 EMA. So yeah, so crazy stuff, right? So during the session, basically, or just before, yesterday, a little bit before, the numbers just stopped coming in. Everything froze, frozen in time, frozen planet. Pause. That was just crazy. Like we're going to bed. These things aren't over. They don't stop till it's over. So then what happened next? What happened next was, now again, this isn't even me talking from one political side or the other. This is just exactly what happened. Just giving you the facts. So sometime just as the session was ending around then yesterday, all of a sudden, it's a good time when everybody's asleep in the U.S., right? All of a sudden, hundreds of thousands of votes appeared as counted, and they were all for Biden. Every single one. So the votes they were counting while we were in our session in the middle of the night, all those votes counted in the middle of the night, everyone went to sleep. Turned out they're 100% all for Biden. All of them. Every single one. No one would dispute that. There are graphs. It's like a chart, right? You're looking at this chart, and there's like a gap up. If this was the Biden chart, right? No information, and then you're here. Oh, we're here now. Okay, and the Trump one didn't move. It's just flat. So suddenly that happened. Biden gets all the votes, Trump gets none. And that's why things flipped. All of a sudden, well, there's all these states that looked red. All of a sudden, they're called for Biden. What the hell's going on? So what was that? And there's been more trickling in, and it's very one-sided. So whether you like Biden or Trump, you still got to say that's weird, right? It's a little fishy. Then there's the rabbit hole. Are we going to do that? Oh, maybe we just look for a trade. All right, so here's the rabbit hole. Anyway, what I'd like for a trade here is to really properly test this 14 EMA a little better, get this guy to it, and ideally maybe see a bit of a buying reaction there. I want to see that positioning long, even if it's just that few tick pop up. A lot of times you'll get like a doji here where they just kind of buy in the area, have the candle closes around where it opened, and then the next candle closes higher. There's a very common pattern there. Just want to see the right reaction. It doesn't have to have huge strength or anything. But it's simply we're testing for buyers. So let's see. That's not there yet either. A little lower. So the rabbit hole says the conspiracy theorists who are right maybe about half the time, I'll give it to them. This is what they're saying. Uh, Chad says, oh, but Trump voters voted in person and Democrats are afraid of COVID use mail-in. That's the narrative. Yeah, but it's 100%. Everyone knew the plan from the beginning. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, they really did that whole just while everyone's sleeping. 200,000 votes for Biden. No one's looking. 150,000. Go. Do it now. Type it in. You really just did that. Oh, wait, we got to do something for Trump, make it look real. No, just do it. Was that the conversation? Was that the plan? But the thing is, even though that happened, there are people that just are watching the media, and what's going on there is a completely different story. The mainstream media says, all right, 14 EMA test. Mainstream media says they're misquoting Trump saying, stop counting. I'm ahead. Stop counting. That's not what he said. He's saying, stop finding votes all of a sudden. 200,000 votes for Biden all of a sudden. The next day now and all this. That's it. The votes are in. You're not going to find more now. Count what you have. That's it. Finish. But they turned into, he's saying stop. I mean, I saw him say it, and then I saw the media change it. You change one word, it becomes something else. Stop counting votes. I'm ahead now. So stop counting. No, stop counting. Stop taking in new votes. It's the next day now. It's over. It's a legal cutoff point, according to law. You can't get new votes now. Exactly right. You keep count what you have. What happened to the counting what you have? Why did that stop for hours and hours and hours? You stopped counting. Give me a break. So there's that. Okay, let me go into the rabbit hole. Right, I'm looking at this reaction here. Are the others there? Eurodollar? Not quite. EJ. I do like Australian dollar better, but just to kind of see. There's a consensus dollar yen driven. So the real rabbit hole stuff is that the ballots were. This is what I heard. I haven't really looked into it, but I heard this from some sources that these people kind of know things. We'll see. That the ballots were made by Homeland Security, supposedly. No, I don't even know. And that there is a special secret second watermark that exists besides the one that you see. There's another hidden watermark. So if you're going to print fake ballots, you're going to, right, that watermark won't be there. So it's a big setup. It's a big trap when they find, 500,000 votes cast on these ballots with no watermark. And they're not, so they're all frauds. So I don't know if you've heard that one. The staff had to leave for a bit so the fixers could do their work. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, go on forever about it. Let's see what's going on. But yeah, I've seen some stuff, just on Twitter. Twitter is just people filming things with their phone, It's not media. And you see some crazy stuff. Yeah, you see some crazy stuff. Very dishonest. I'll accept a winner, an honest winner, either way. So it's not something I'm not ready. I'm not trying to not accept the outcome, but come on now, it's fair and square. So yeah, there's lots of video of all kinds of things going on. Staff members handing out Sharpies, and when the machines don't count balance with Sharpies, and they're like, no, you can't use a pen, you have to use a Sharpie. And this was done in many counties. The Sharpie thing is a thing. You'll hear about it. Taking away pens. No, give me your pen. You got to use a Sharpie. And so the machine won't read it. It has to be a pen. Seeing the reaction here. Seeing the reaction. One little pop down would be nice and see it get bought into. Just want to see the demand increase. We get a little more volume, ideally here. Then there's a very strange video of the place has like the separate room with big windows where I guess people are counting. A special important room. But the windows are just like big windows. So these guys are just holding up these big white boards blocking the windows. So nobody can see what's going on in there. But you can see a little bit. There's a bunch of people in there, but that looks so bad. You're blocking the windows with like these panels. Two guys just holding them up to block the window in an open election where you're just supposed to be, everybody should be knowing what's going on. What? You crazy? You know how bad that looks? Oh, you can't look here. Don't look here. The hell? I don't know if you've seen that video. Saw the comment about the mark. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. An honest winner. That's really fine. But yeah, it's strange who you if you talk to different people, you get some weird like what are you watching? Who what? But yeah, that's what like Twitter is good for. If you want to just what's going on, let's see people filming things with their phone, stuff like that. How about we get rid of media and it's just the public filming things with their phone with no narration. All right, here we go. Let's see if we get a spike in volume, a little price rejection going on action. Little trade on the most dangerous day of the decade to be trading. Well, the decade just started. It's probably going to be some freaking days worse than this. I don't know. So if buyers are aggressive, they're positioning right here, right? There's some selling coming in. It's giving them that chance to buy right into it. Should I dare open my platform today? Okay, yeah, we're getting a little action. I'm going to proceed in opening my platform. All right. Well, there's the 1 minute, right? Right when we said it. We'll see some more volume here. It must be working. This one's not bad. Let's see what kind of reaction we get. If we go lower, we want to see that continued buying. If we go higher, let's see it easily move up without getting squashed. And we'll probably have a decent situation on this very risky day. Low risk. Trade at your own risk. Again, it's like the kind of thing where we could get into a trade. I shouldn't even say it. As soon as you buy, it just tanks. Drops 50 pips from where you bought. What the hell? It's can't get mad at it. Anything can happen. So I'll keep my risk low. And if I end up getting in here, what looks better? That's tough. I guess the AJ. If you look at UJ, it's just doing that. Really, there's no bias right now. It's like the same. 1 minute. What looks better? Keep thinking AJ looks better because of this low volume top here. This is there, but there's a spike. One spike. This is really low. And they're just moving exactly the same here. Last minute decision. Let's see what goes on here. But as far as stop loss, on a scalp entry, 10, 15 pips. And what does that give us? And maybe there's a fib retracement we can get behind a 618 or something for protection. So like allowing for a 618 overshoot would give us about there. Oh, these moves are bigger than they appear. Yeah, a lot bigger moves today. So, as far as like you see a pattern and you're going to assume it's this many pips, it's actually a bit more. This is the 20 pip move right here. Just that. But there's the option here. I mean, the potential for an entry. We'll see. Where I can get my stop below 618 and look for this high and then attempt to break for first target or a main target, depending what happens. This one would be, I guess, this fib. That's the last move up. All right, let's see how this candle closes. I like that the volume came in on Q. Which one was better? With that buying volume. AU. I can't decide. This has a better top. This has a better bottom. Meanwhile, I'd like to see it pull up a bit at this point in the pattern. So if it goes lower, we just wait. Maybe the fib brings more buyers. See, this kind of stuff we want to see, like how much of these buyers jumping on it here. We're slightly into new low ground on the 14 EMA. If you're aggressively accumulating here for this few waves up, maybe that you're expecting, you really be hitting it here, saying I might not get a better price. It's a good price. And again, bringing volume. But if we kind of settle here, we might retrace to fib and look for the long there then. I never really look at the US dollar index. Look at this off the 14 EMA here again. And this coming down, right? Weak US dollar, and that's going to give us our move. Plus the Australian dollar is strong. So we want that if we're getting in this. It's be pretty straightforward as this moves down. The Australian dollar pairs move up. Euro? Nah, not yet at least. Pound got all messed up from interest rate decision. It doesn't know anything. Hmm. Okay, now we're breaking off a little bit with a little more buying on the AU. We'd probably be seeing this coming down. Yes. All right. I'm considering the AU long here. Stop would be allowing for the 618 overshoot. I'll say 7.9. But if we're just sitting in this area, I'm not doing anything. I want to see this look like it's starting to mark up again off of that spot. We hit the volume where we wanted to. The high is good. Convince me. This is the key. Dollar index. So at this point, we can say, yeah, the buyers showed up initially there, but we're not seeing it go back into markup style. And there may be a lack of buying now in the area where it has to go lower to find buyers. Yeah, there it goes. At least it's predictable. And the reason why I just said that right before that is because of that low volume here on the close. So, yeah, they showed up to a certain extent, but where's the buying now, right? Whoever was looking to buy at this price area did so. There's nothing going on. And there certainly wasn't any markup style push happening, right? So if you don't have one and you don't have the other, okay, then we're probably going here now, and we'll find the buyers there. Most likely. If they don't show up here and we break, back to bed. There's certainly no weakness here where we want to be shorting, or we would expect buyers not to come in. That would be weird. Let's see what happens. Hold on a second. All right, yeah, I'm not worried about that. Okay. All right. Yeah, use that the 50 fib. We'll see if we can get a little info, as in buyers showing up or not. Yeah, we're kind of there, almost there. Might be there on your platform. There was a little run of buying. Who was that? Was that the Bear Stearns? The Goldman Sachs. Mm. All right. Found a little something going on here with buyers again. And they're looking a bit confident. This volume's going to be up a bit higher. Again, all I'm looking for is, it didn't have to go lower. I would have taken it already. Is some sort of close up, confident markup style move here off of this bit of strength and everything else. But between that and now this, I'm still good. We're looking to enter. Convince me. That's nice. All right. Buyers just got a little confident, right? Am I too patient for you, MR? Are you in it already? Hey, might be time. Might not. I'm just going to mess with you now. All right, so I'm opening my window to enter, and now I'm closing my window. Closing my platform. Considering entry, no, I'm closing it. Closing my platform again. Okay. Unless we get it in the next 10 seconds. Okay, so we're either entering in the next 30 seconds, or I'll let you know in 30 seconds, the next thing. All right, I'll stop. Anyway, lower is good if you want to go lower, and maybe it really sets up off a fib area, and then we get a nice smaller stop. That's all right, as long as they're buying. All right, so 30 seconds is up. I'm reopening my platform, but I'm not opening the window to enter the trade. It's very important. All right. Might make it to that fib. Really want to see a pop, right? Higher volume, the better. The quicker we get kicked out, bought up, the better. Meanwhile, euro kind of stuck, kind of mixed up. Pound still knocked out from the interest rate decision. That's nothing I want to do there. Can we remember what we're doing here? Why are we looking to go long? Because we're in an uptrend, and the high has a low volume. Yeah, just go to fib. That works. Do that. If you want a fake break, fine. If you want to break, fine. I have a feeling it'll be a pump and dump situation here. I have no real reason for that. Well, it would have been nice to pop into the fib. Man, am I tired. I feel like everybody was tired today because of the election. They were up all night. We finally just gave in and went to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I was just up too long the last couple of days, not sleeping. Can we get a fib pop? Any news going on? It's funny right now. depending on what what media you check, you get different states called differently, different electoral count. The AP has Trump at 214, but I also saw 220 something somewhere else, 222. I don't know what they called. Not Pennsylvania, maybe Georgia. And get some action. There's some pushing up going on. We'll see the reaction. Might be time for the markup. It would have been nice to see a little more volume off of this low. See what goes on right here. If we can float through here without supply, then I'll probably enter it, knowing that at least very high probability to get to this point, which is like whatever, 15 pips for the scalp, and then manage the trade from there. If we could just flow through here on some lower volume. Let's do that. Because you see the structure of the lower lows, and then we have the double bottom. And, that's an old familiar pattern. And there was some supply here, right? So it's kind of like a push through on a 1 minute. On the lower volume, the better, right? Just float on through. Don't get squashed. Don't see price jump around. And get high volume. Lower the volume, the better. It's like a mini push through, sort of. But we would have that double bottom and then higher high structure, which is probably going to help the probability of that's the markup happening at that point. Same old game. Everybody gets the game, right? If you're a buyer trying to position, you're always trying to, up to a certain point perhaps, you're always trying to be able to take it as it comes and take advantage of lower prices, not go all in. They're accumulating. If you get a new low price, that's an opportunity to improve your position, right? Then there comes a point where they don't expect that anymore. There's a lack of supply to the point where you wouldn't expect it to be able to get there. And also, of course, the lack of supply makes it easier to mark up. You get more bang for your buck buying and pushing price up. So it's all about finding that point where they switch over, right, to try to nail the entry. So if you think of it that way, right, if you're a buyer knowing that this is your next spot, there you go. At what point do you give up and say, okay, I'm just going to start marking up what I have? Probably getting through here on low volume, right? Lack of selling. Okay, they may be trying it. Maybe not. Stand by, Amar. All right. Well, we went higher and we got low volume, so it was a good start, right? We're gonna get through there on low volume. But what that is saying is that they still don't want to mark it up because they really could have started doing that here. Not much selling, not much activity. Well, wouldn't mind the down move in strength or either way. We'll still be looking for it. That was a good push right there too, right? Somebody's ready to mark up. It's the Bear Stearns. No, which is the one that's not around? It's the Lehman Brothers. That's who it is. It's the Lehman Brothers. Both of them.